Well, g'day folks, Stratman here again, just continuing on with our strategy. I just need to just reiterate and kind of emphasize the fact that what I'm doing here is this is not my full strategy, what I'm showing at the moment. What I'm doing is I'm showing you the pieces of my strategy step by step, and as people kind of get a really good comprehension of what I'm teaching for each part, then I'll add in the next part. So I have had bits of criticism about how, well, this is just too easy and great when the market's trending and blah 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 blah. That is true to some extent, but if you use sound money management principles using even these basic bits of my strategy, you will be profitable. I have been trading over the last week or so just with these basic bits that I'm teaching you, so I'm kind of alongside you. So I've sacrificed using my full method of trading to try and assist you guys by just showing you that you can trade these basic bits as I add each piece in. We're going to add in fractals shortly. We're going to add in other aspects of moving averages, and then we're going to add in oscillators like the THV system, tricks, and stochastics. So hang around for that. But at the moment, we're kind of at the earlier stages, and so I need to emphasize the fundamentals of the strategy so that you can see it. Now, when we finish this, we're probably not going to be using these two moving averages, which could be anything between 20 and 30 EMA or 60 SMA or whatever. You may not be using those later. This is just to give you an idea of how to view the market. In fact, I'm getting more and more to the point where I don't have much on my main chart. So, and I might only have one moving average, but I need to show this at this stage so that you can get the idea of what I'm trying to talk about. So in a sense, I'm trying to download out of my mind what I do, just to try and assist you guys. So with that said, carrying on, what happens is that I'm typically only trading from the beginning of New York. And I'm usually waiting a little bit before I get into there, but that's sorry, when I say not the beginning of New York, I mean New York 5 p.m. is the start of the trading day for me. New York 5 p.m. is the end of the trading day, so that's these two vertical dashed lines, and I draw another line at midday Hong Kong. Now, the trading opportunities have been good, and people have been asking me lots of questions about, well, what about these other times during the day? I seem to be drawing all these lines and things, and they always seem to be the best ones and so on. But part of the problem is that I sleep. So in the trading room, I'm really only trading kind of down to about this point in time, and in fact, I miss most of the second half of the London session and all of New York. So I can't talk too much about that. All I can do is just show lines and draw them on the chart for you, and hopefully they're helpful for you during that time. Now, on my website, I've just changed the first clock here. It was Sydney, and I've changed it to New Zealand so that if you're looking at where I'm at, because that's where I live, and what time it is, just have a quick look here and you'll see kind of what I'm doing. Now, just to let you know, I go to bed at night. Normally, I've made an agreement with my wife to go to bed at 10:30 in the evening and not to trade through the night. So if you're looking for me after 10:30 New Zealand time, I won't be there. Okay, and I typically get back on at about anywhere from 7 through to 9 a.m. New Zealand time. Probably checking my emails mainly, catching up on Skype room chat, the posts on the thread, and so on. So I may not get into actually starting to talk to people and so on until around kind of 10 a.m. New Zealand time. And in fact, it's taken all the way to 11 a.m. this morning to get through everything I've needed to get through. Also walking the dog and having breakfast. Now, while I'm on the website, I just have to say that I can't classify myself as a full-time trader. Even though my target is 2% per day, and I'm doing that. It all comes down to how much trading capital you've got. If you haven't got enough trading capital, you can't live off that 2% per day. So at present, my level of trading capital, I can't survive off the return I'm getting. So if someone else has got, making 2% per day and they've got larger trading capital, well and good for them. I'm very happy for them, but for me, I don't. So I do rely a little bit on people assisting me with maybe some donations if they find what I do helpful, to help me get my trading capital up a bit so that I can actually start making a full-time living off this. So what I'm trying to say is that I currently am trading. Yes, I make 2% a day. It's not enough to live off yet. So if you feel inclined, and some people have, and I'm really thankful for it, if I'm helping you enough to sustain you, I'd really appreciate if you did give me a donation. That would help me build my trading capital and also just help me pay my bills month to month. Well, enough of that said. I guess just a bit of a plug for me. Now, getting back to the main strategies here, moving average strategy, if we look at what I did last night and then think about the support and resistance, well, I showed you the New York 5 p.m. boundaries here, the Hong Kong midday. Now, we talked about weekly, monthly, and daily highs and lows. That's the previous monthly, weekly, daily. And we talked about making pivot points based on those, and there's a standard calculation for that, which involves the high and low of the time period and the close of the time period. And so those to me are all quite relevant support and resistance areas. Another relevant support and resistance area is the one I'm going to talk about right now, and that is session ranges. Now, even though this isn't a full session for one country between these two lines, I consider this kind of like a session range, and it's just a session New York 5 p.m. through to Hong Kong midday. Now, if I take the high and low of that time period and project it through to the rest of the day, I find that it's just tremendous support and resistance. Now, it might not be kind of respected as such every single day, but it's very often respected. And I think if you view this chart, you can see that happening here quite well. Like as this day continued past this line, this was a tremendous support line, and then price came through and it was a fantastic resistance line. And if we look back here, it's come back up to this point, broken through, come back down, and gone very close to that as to try and test it again. We've come up here and look at how much it's been hitting there as resistance, and then broken through, and it's become support, and it's been support for most of the end of the New York session. So to me, that is a very worthwhile line to put on my chart, so I do. Not everyone does that, and I appreciate that, but it works for me. The other one that works for me is, and these lines are drawn automatically by the dashboard at the moment. You can draw them yourself if you like, if you don't have the dashboard. The other one I use is the previous 4-hour candle and previous 1-hour candle, and I look at those quite a lot. So here's the low of the previous 4-hour candle, the high of the previous 4-hour candle, and this is the low and high of the previous 1-hour candle, again drawn by the dashboard. Now these lines here are very good support and resistance levels, and quite often when price breaks through these lines like it has just here, the probability is so high that this is going to continue on. So in this instance, this is one of the trading opportunities I've been talking about, where we can draw a line here. We've got a trend line coming down against and pulling back into our moving average, and we're breaking out from there. So we've got a pending order just here, and we've made some money, but it's broken the previous 1 hour candle. Now, so for me, people have been saying to me, well, when do you pull the trade? Well, when I see it break the 1 hour previous candle like this, it's probably a good opportunity to hold on, because the probability is this will continue on. Now, it might retrace a little bit, so you might want to lock in this at break even, or you might just want to take the profit that's been offered up already. In the end, it's always up to you. I mean, there's only been 10 pips so far, you could lock in break even and just see if this gets to where you need it. Anyway, next video.